G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Well, the weather report, 15 to 26. Look, a little bit of cloud around today, but not too bad. We're not expected to get any rain. There was a few showers come through last Thursday, but we didn't think there was much in it, even though there was a couple of puddles out the front, but just out the front of the shed on the rubber. I've got conveyor belting here as you come into the shed, try and keep the place a bit clean. But yeah, it turns out we had nearly 10 millimetres in the gauge, so yeah, unless we've had a bloody a green frog peeing in there, I think we must have had 10 mil. But look, you wouldn't know it, it hasn't greened the place up at all. So pardon me. So yeah, I'm still watering trees twice a week, 3 times a week. I'm out watering trees, and then yeah, I have a birthday next week, Saturday, Sunday, the 16th of October anyway. And yeah, Mum bought me a little fruit tree, so I've got it over there, but now I've got to try and keep it going. So planting fruit trees in the drought, back in 2019 in the big drought, Christmas of 2018, between 2018 and 19, I bought 8 fruit trees and put in the orchard here, and well, little did I know that the dams were going to be dry and all that. And it was a job for the next year, just keep those bloody things alive. And I lost a couple, but mostly we've got them all still. And yeah, mandarins, mainly citrus, but look, they're going pretty good. And we've got a good little avocado tree. Avocado trees are hard to grow, but yeah, so far it's about 1 metre high and it's still going well. But yeah, no rain, a little bit of cloud. As the cloud comes over the shed here and then disappears and the sun comes out, the shed creaks and groans. And I'm always talking about it, but if it does it today, I might see if I can. I'll just put a bit of a film in, you know, with the sound there, because it's just unreal. And I had a bloke got on to me through the week, and he said, "Man, interesting video, but man, that noise in the background with your compressor air leaking and things like that." And it wasn't that; it was just the shed creaking and the wind in the doorway there, and so that got us shifting all the shed around. I used to like to do it. It's nice and breezy in behind the big doors there, and you get a lovely breeze there in summer. And it's a nice place to work, but with the sound coming across the cameras and all that, it blew all the audio out, so quite terrible. So that was before I had these little mics, little Wi-Fi Rode mics. Now they're the duck's nuts. They work really well, and so that I didn't have them at the time, and I didn't have I had the software probably to do it, but I didn't know how to do it. So more to the point, to run separate soundtracks to the camera. So we'll see how we go. You may have noticed, not last video, the one before, I was having focus troubles with the cameras, and I'm not sure why. And the camera I normally use is a Panasonic Lumix FZ300. Now these cameras, they're sort of small enough that I can get them down in where I need them. Yet, and look, they've been mighty. I've got I think an early FZ80, and where you have the spring return on the zoom here broke on that. So it's in at the shop at the moment, in at Queensland Tractor Spares, and I use that for some of the website photography and that. But for videos, you'd think you got it all set up, and then whoop, she'd be zooming in and out on you, and she'd be all over the shop. So pretty shit show. But yeah, this for some reason, it'd focus on something that wasn't there, and it'd go blurry. And when I'm doing the stew here, all I can see is the little viewfinder, like that little screen there. That's all I can see. And sitting back here, and the camera's probably 8-10 feet away maybe, and that's all I can see. And sometimes until edit, I didn't realise that it had gone out of focus. So that's why some of them have been a bit blurry. Years ago, I bought a Nikon P900. I think it's a Cool Pix or something like that. And I had it in here for a little while, but the Nikon seems to have a clearer picture. One thing you have to be careful with is the light adjustment on the Nikon. It's very sensitive, so you're always sort of looking at that. But I couldn't run a microphone into it, and at the time I didn't have the sound equipment, so it was one of those cameras where it was really good at taking photos. The movies are okay, but if there was the slightest breeze blowing across the microphone on the front, the sound was rubbish. And in some of the 135 6-speed videos, I did them with it, and they're clear as crystal, but the sound is just junk. And as we go, we're getting better with it all. But so I wasn't using that camera. I had it tucked away. Then we were having dinner here one night with Tim and Ellie, and Ellie said, oh, she liked taking photos and that. And I said, well, I got this camera here. Would you like it? I can't use it really in the shed. So I gave it to Ellie. But yeah, the way cameras are nowadays in phones, I think they've taken like 10 or a dozen photos on it, and that's like just nothing. So I was talking to him the other day, and I said, look, are you using that? And I said, oh, not really. And I said, well, you mind if we can get it back and give it a go? Because Jude's been wanting to take a camera on our travelling with us for birds and things, and my Panasonic was starting to play up, and I was looking at another $800,000 for a camera, and I was thinking, well, there's this one sitting there not being used in the family, so they were bringing it back. But anyway, Tim, if you're watching this, it was in Tim's car on the floor there. He must have been going to bring it back, but never did. But Tim and Ellie are down Brisbane with Freya, and he dropped the car off here. So, Dad, this is wrong and that's wrong. Can you have a look at that while it's away? So we found this camera again. So, but anyway, that's good. I imagine he was meant to give it to us, and he didn't get round to it. So that's okay too. But yeah, there was no batteries, no charger and all that. So it's still in their shed somewhere. Who knows? Not worth looking for. So I've bought new chargers for it and new batteries, and so I have 5 batteries now. So that should give me a bit of scope, and 2 chargers. So yeah, I can USB charge them and things like that. So anyway, it's going well. I'm just looking over there at my sound, making sure the sound's red. But yeah, this Nikon camera, it's very sensitive. It does have beautifully clear video and everything on it, but now we've found a new way to do the sound. It may be our go-to camera. I'm doing a test video on, I have a Zenith 28G carb here. Now, well, that's another interesting story in its own. I thought I'd use this Nikon 2 video doing this 28G. Now, it's not a 28G off a TE20 or an FE35 or a 135. It's off a petrol Fordson Dexter. So my mate Biddy dropped it off the other day, and oh, okay, so as if I haven't got enough to do, but I seem to do it. And so I set the Nikon up to video that, but I was looking at a bit of footage back, and if my arm comes in anywhere, the autofocus is just banging. It's a bit here and there with it. So I've disabled the autofocus. There's a constant autofocus and not constant, so I've adjusted that, and hopefully it's not blurring in and out this morning on us. We'll see how we go. So the stew today is with this Nikon P900, and look, any comments on it, if you think it's better or clearer or shit, just let us know. We'll see how we go. Got a couple of videos out on the 65. Had a few blokes rattling me chain about it. Time we had a video on the 65. Well, you've just got to understand that this is my hobby. I don't earn my living off bloody YouTube videos. The amount of time it takes to get set up, set the cameras up, film, check it, refilm if something's not 100%, or I often try and leave the balls ups in. Just because if I'm making them, other people might. Probably a lot more people brighter than me, but anyway. And so yeah, then you take it into the editing suite and you might edit the video for a few hours and then you got to let it render, then let it upload. So yeah, it just takes bloody time, you know, and you got to have time. So jumping on my case about not enough videos, yeah, they'll just come when they come, and that's all we can do. We got the kids with us. Been a busy weekend. It's Monday morning, first day in the shed for the weekend, like with the kids here. Yeah, we try and keep them entertained and spend time with them and bug around. And Saturday was daughter Adele's birthday. She's 31. So she came out on Saturday and yeah, we had she played with the kids and, you know, just games and buggered around and so we had her birthday here Saturday. Saturday evening, Mum come over and Jude went and got Mum and yeah, we had pizzas and a few drinks and all that for Saturday evening. So then the kids saw the new camper and they said, well, let's sleep in that, Poppy. You know, we can sleep in the backyard. So the camper got dragged out and popped up into the backyard and we camped in that for the night. Took a bit to get them settled. They were sort of excited and probably had a bit of Adele's birthday cake, so a bit of a sugar hit. And yeah, they were a bit excited about it all. So anyway, once we finally settled, it wasn't too bad. The mattress is a bit thin. I found that a bit hard. So Jude's having a look at a mattress topper for it. But look, it's a good thing. I've been playing with, we do have power that I can plug into it there to keep the batteries charged when the fridge is on, because the fridge draws, I've seen it draw 5 and 6 amps. But the solar panel seems to be keeping up. It's a little fold up 160 solar panel. It seems to keep up okay. Then I left the fridge running all night, but with bugger all in it. And having bugger all in it, test it because it's just the air. But if you have a full fridge on these absorption type fridges, if you have the fridge full, it doesn't cycle as much because you've got that cold mass in there. So I left it empty just to see how it cycled, and yeah, look, it went pretty good. Yeah, we weren't too worried about it. My mate, I don't know why, buddy, I must have mug on me forehead. My mate JD come up and saw me the other day, and he has a Deutz tractor, and he has a Deutz power steering ram, and what it's done, it actually broke the thread off the end where the goes into the ball joint here. So he asked me could I do that. So I used the old weld the nut on the end of the bolt method, and that come out nicely. So we've got a nice clear thread there, and it's only a muck around tractor. It's not going to be on the road or anything. But so I'm probably going to bore that out and make an extended thread in there. So bore it out, thread in here, then make an extended thread so we can save the cylinder. Now, you might be able to help me with this. The gland, to reseal it, like you can see how easy that is to turn, but there's a little wire clip down that hole there. Now, oftentimes with a little wire clip, I can't see anything down that hole. Oftentimes with a little wire clip in a cylinder like that, you have the hole and there's a bit of a ramp and there's a wire, and as you turn the gland, you get a little screwdriver in, you lift the end of the wire up and you feed the wire out the hole, and then you can pull the gland out. But that's just got a wire in there and it's just a hole. I've been fiddling with it, turning it and poking it and buggering around, and I can't quite work out how to get that off. So yeah, the gland has to come out this way to reseal it. And, you know, we can polish the ram and put new seals in there and work on this other end here. But yeah, I've had a look down the port. Some of the John Deere ones, you look down the oil port and there was a little clip in there that you had to pop this little clip off over the end of the gland onto the rod, then the gland would come out. I can't seem to see that on that, but I think it's a DX90. maybe. Anyway, it's a power steering ram for that, and yeah, he brought it up and said, could I have a look at it for him? And I've got the broken bit out, and I have the wherewithal to buy a metric bolt, that thread, to go up into the other bit. Then I may even just V it all out and just weld it on the end there, but I'd like it out of the cylinder so I can reseal it. But yeah, I'm just not 100%. If you know about that, send us a message, an email at bundybearsshed@gmail.com, or YouTube Messenger or something. I'm just not 100% sure. I don't want to wreck anything. I'll go steady. I'll have another little bit of a look later, and we'll see what we come up with. Young Freya, God, she bloody... Ellie has set up a Facebook page called Freya's Heart Journey, and they went down to Brisbane last week to prepare for the heart surgery. She's got to have open heart surgery and a valve fixed and things like that in her heart, and it's starting to get a bit urgent. And anyway, in Bundaberg here, probably a fortnight before she went down there, she had a urinary tract infection. And anyway, they hit her up with the antibiotics and all that. Then they had to go, before they went to Brisbane, they went into the hospital in town here and had it all checked again. And yep, there was a slight bit of it there or something, but she was right to go. So she went down to Brisbane, and they had a couple of days, where they had a look around, did a bit of sightseeing and that. Went and got things checked out. Then did a bit of sightseeing, and look, it was probably last Monday, maybe. Anyway, I might have the days ballsed up, but she started coming down with a fever and feeling a bit rubbish, and so they whizzed her into the hospital, and they had a look at her and whizzed her straight into the Royal Children's Hospital, and the urinary tract infection had fired right up, and apparently the antibiotics up here hadn't knocked her on the head enough. There was just a trace of it there, but so she had a couple of days touch and go, really. The urinary tract infection, the infection started winding up on her, and they started having, giving her a drip, antibiotic drips, but then it turned into sepsis, and that's bloody serious. Your organs start shutting down and things like that. So her heart, because of the stress of her body trying to fight this sepsis, and just trying to get through, and her stressing out, I suppose, being a young one stressing out, her heart peaked to 200 beats a minute there for a bit, then back to 100, and they ended up having to pop her into a coma. She was in intensive care, and then they had to knock her out, just to give her body a chance to rest a little bit. So she spent a couple of days. Tim rang when they were looking to put her out, and they were saying, she's not in a good way, and sometimes when they put them out, they lose them. And they had half an hour before, they gave everyone a warning, and they had about half an hour before that happened. So so Tim rang up. He was warning us all what might go wrong. So look, she went down with it okay. She was in intensive care. Then they had her in then she stopped breathing. So she had something keeping her heart ticking along. Then she had a machine breathing for her to keep the oxygen into her, because things just shut down. So over the last day or so, she sort of started to come out of that. They've taken the medication away, and she had about a day probably with a bit of delirium from, wasn't responding to anything much because of the amount of medicine in there. But I see a thing on the Facebook page this morning where she's up and Ellie's giving her a cuddle. So so she must be coming out of that again by the look of it. So things are looking up, but which that's a positive. Everyone's certainly relieved. In through the week there, we weren't sure that we were going to still have her, but she's still got to go and have the heart surgery yet. So because her heart was failing with the sepsis, they don't want to operate with that because, you know, it just makes things worse. So they didn't have to do that, which was lucky. But yeah, they've still got to jump that hurdle yet. She's got to get well enough and get the infection completely out of her body now, this is how I understand it, before they can open her up and do this heart surgery. So yeah, Tim and Ellie probably won't be home anytime soon. So yeah, Jude's going in feeding the dogs, and you know, they're all right sort of thing. And when it's Tim's turn for the kids, we're taking over there, and that's all right. Got a bloody where's you out, little buggers. We went into Tim's house yesterday, and I just had a bit of a tidy up sort of thing, and to spend a bit of time with the dogs. The poor old dogs are in the backyard, and Jude pops in every day and says g'day and gives them a pat and gives them a, you know, feeds them, make sure the water's good and all that. But that's about it for the 24-hour cycle, so 15 minutes or something. So we went in there, took the kids in there and buggered round in there for a bit. And, yeah, I did a bit of bloody round up and a few weeds and buggering around, pick up palm fronds and just had a bit of a tidy up while we're in there sort of thing. So yeah, perhaps next weekend we might go in. The front doors needs painting, and when we first got it, they were going to paint it, and Ellie said, oh, she liked painting, but anyway, no, we haven't done any of that. So I'll give that a really good pressure clean yesterday, and I've blown all the loose paint off the front door and that, so I'll probably over the next week or so let it dry out, then try and sand it. And in Tim's shed somewhere we've got the paint for the front door, but I suppose we'll have to have a look, see if we can find it. That'll be another story. So I might try and do that if I can over the next weekend or something like that, see how it goes. But yeah, just see what happens. So it was a bit of a stressful week. Everyone was sort of waiting to hear news from Freya and all that. So it appears she's come through that, which is good. And yeah, we sort of haven't been telling the kids. The kids know she's down there, but we haven't been telling the kids that. They're too young to have to worry about all that stuff. So we'll leave that be. Yeah, so yeah, so anyway, worked out okay so far. But yeah, she's not out of the woods by a long shot, but yeah, just they threw a few curveballs in just to test her, I think. So see how that goes. But look, that's about it. I'm just about, the video on the pinion on the 65, the end bearing. I didn't have an end bearing because I didn't have any at the time. And there's one coming up from Victoria, but I just did a test this morning, and I can put the pinion in and put the bearing in later. I can bring the bearing in through the back and put the circlips on. So I'll probably do that way. At least then I can start on PDO shafts and hydraulic pumps and things like that. So we'll see what we get done this week. Yeah, the old Bedford went. I think it was Thursday morning. I got a call from the Cairns truck mob, and they said they'll be in here. So we had to get the Bedford up onto a tilt tray. So I drove him out and we winched him up on there, and then they didn't want to hop in it, and they said, oh, does it drive? And I said, yeah. So I had to sit on the tilt tray. I had to crawl up onto the tilt tray, and then we had to jackknife the big truck because he had a dog trailer on the back with a 8-metre catamaran on it, or 8-metre boat, sorry, on it. And then we had to get the tilt tray deck across, and I had to drive it on, then jump on. So I was jumping on and off trucks, and I don't know what I've done to my left-hand knee there, but holy dooly, it's given me curry. My right-hand one's normally my crook one. Well, this one's, it's certainly got my attention at the moment. So yeah, I'm trying to do a lot of sitting if I can. But anyway, look, we'll see what happens. But look, that's the stew for the day. Yeah, I'm going to try and get a couple of clips done on the 65 if I can. The little gold tractor, there's a bloke looking at the little gold tractor. He's gone to get freight quotes, so that's it might be out of here shortly. We'll just see how that goes. If not, I'll the tractors I'm selling, like the John Deere 420 and the Goldie and that, I haven't advertised them apart from on the stew here. If the fella doesn't want that, or it becomes too expensive to get it down to Victoria where he wants it, it'll probably go on a proper Facebook marketplace thing with a with a link to the videos on what we've done to it and all that sort of thing. So it's got new tyres. Yeah, it's new water pump. I've done that thing in the head with it. I've never done the hydraulic pump on it. Never had the need. The hydraulics seem to work okay. Yeah, it's a golden grey petrol. So not a lot of them around, it seems. There seems to be more diesels, but anyway, we're just going to let that go. I've had it for 18 years. It's going to go. It's got new wheel bearings, new tyres, actually new rims, not centres on the back, but new rims. Yeah, it's got the soft brake linings because I used to go trekking on that tractor, so it pulls up nicely. Anyway, that's another story. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, if that goes this week, look, that'd be nice if it did. If not, no big deal. We'll put it out there. There's another bloke looking at the John Deere 420, but he's always going to get it and going to do this and that and going to contact me, but he's always a bit slack on that, so I might have to rattle his chain, and if not, it can go out on Marketplace, open for the public too. But I usually just give this, people who follow the channel, they get first rap at things, so normally. So anyway, see how we go. Okay, that's it. Thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you next week. Hopefully Freya goes okay this week. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to have a better week than last week with that. Yeah, we got the kids until Wednesday. So yeah, it's this afternoon as Arrow comes home and does homework, and Jude packs Airy up and heads off to gymnastics till 6:30. And so yeah, young people have kids, not us old farts. Wears us out. So anyway, have a good week, everyone, and we'll catch you up next week, eh?